Oh, welcome back to the channel, Ed Talks 420, and today I'm going to be talking about, does CBD sober you up when you've had too much weed or too much THC, for instance? In short answer, not really. In long answer, maybe. So what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people say if you have had too much weed or too much THC, like edibles and things like that, have some CBD and it will dullen the effect. Well, it's not exactly true. So what actually, the scientists have actually come out now and figured out what CBD is actually doing to our body, because you've got to remember, this is still all new to science, because we're not really allowed to study things like, so you're allowed to study CBD, but you can't study THC, because of the laws and the way things are. So what scientists are coming up with now, they're actually realizing CBD slows down the effects. It slows down the breakdown of the THC molecule. So actually what it's doing is it's making your high last longer. And you're like, well, that's the opposite of getting you sober, Ed. Well, it is really, but the anxiety side of it, see, when you've had too much CBD, too much THC, sorry, and you're anxious and you're like, palpitations, and you feel like the world is going to end. This is what some people go through. I personally have never gone through it, but some people have said this is how they feel. Now, if you have CBD, what that does is, instead of your high going from this is normal and then having your THC go bang, that shoot up of high, your high, the THC hitting you, is where the anxiety comes in. That's where that comes in. And the panic comes in as well, like, oh, no. So that's where CBD helps. What it does is, if you take CBD with your THC, this is why I believe CBD should be bred back into cannabis. I believe it will stop a lot of people's anxieties, because what CBD does, you're on your plane, you've had your edible, you smoking and that, and instead of you going bosh straight up, you're high, it hits you straight. What CBD does, it gets you to the same point, but doesn't go like that, it goes like that. It's a gradual high. Now you're getting used to it. Everything's nice, everything's fluffy, everything's normal. You're not getting anxiety, you're not having panic attacks. That's because the CBD is doing what it's supposed to do. Cannabis is supposed to have CBD in it. It's not meant to be under 1% CBD. That is not how cannabis is supposed to be. Let's be real. It's being bred for just THC now. That's all it's being bred for. So when you come to people like, oh, Ed, why are you consuming CBD? Because I have CBD. I have it everywhere. I have CBD every day. And that's purely because I believe CBD needs to be back into cannabis. So if they're not going to breed it back into cannabis, I will take it as a supplement and then carry on using my cannabis. Do you see where I'm going? That's my view, because they won't put it back in. So yeah, going back to people saying, oh, that's why why do you take CBD all the time? That's just going to sober you up. It isn't, dude. It isn't. Now, obviously, if I take more CBD than I do THC, yes, I will sober up, because it's the ratios. You see where I'm going here? If I take 3 dabs of some rosin, some live rosin, banging fire, if I took 3 dabs of that and then 1 dab of CBD, that CBD is not going to fucking sober me up at all. All that's going to do is level out my high and make it longer, make the effects feel better. That's all it's going to do. But if I took 3 dabs of rosin and then 3 dabs of CBD isolate, it's probably going to sober me up. It would, yes. That's why I said at the beginning, yes and no. Now, what CBD is good for, I will say, if you've been on the edibles the night before, you had a party, you've had a few brownies or whatever, you've been chuffing, you've had a couple of blunts or whatever, right? But you've been hitting it hard the night before. The next day, taking a couple of dabs of CBD will seriously clean you up. Now, I don't know how that works, but I believe because you've already metabolized loads of the THC, the CBD just sort of like freshens your brain up, gets everything going, sparks up all the things. That's like, it's like, what they say, some people say, oh, I need a greasy breakfast after having a night out on the alcohol and that. Well, I believe CBD is very similar. If you've hit it hard the night before on the old herbage and that, take a couple dabs of CBD, take some gummies in the morning, and you will feel fresh. That's one thing I do think CBD is good for, but that's because I believe you've already metabolized it all. You know, like, so all that's doing is just kicking your brain starting, getting you waking up, getting you going. That's my view on it. But science has proved CBD is brilliant for slowing down anxiety, actually proven to slows the metabolism breakdown of THC. It slows it down so your high lasts longer. So, do we need CBD back in our weed? I believe so. What do you think? Do you think we need CBD back in our weed? If you think so, type it in the comments, man. Come on, get the comments going, and hope you've enjoyed the video, and stay tuned, man. There's going to be more coming, so I've got some more videos coming. Yeah, come on, man. And if no one said it to you today, I'm going to say it to you, all right? I love you, and I hope you have a blessed day. Peace out, people. Nice one.